Money?
Yeah.
So, what is this?
Up. Chocolate.
This is a bar of chocolate, which he really loves. So the deal is this. I'm going to give you 1 cube.
Yeah.
Now this is called the marshmallow test. Okay?
Yeah.
And it is supposed to test your level of patience, self-control, and your ability to delay gratification. I'm sure you don't understand half of the things I'm saying, but this is the deal. Are you seeing another chocolate here?
Yeah.
Okay, Imora, come. Just wait. This is chocolate.
Yeah.
And what is this?
Another chocolate.
Another chocolate. So if you wait for me to come back, I'll give you 2 of them.
Yeah.
You have this one and this one.
Yeah.
But if you eat it,
Yeah.
you will not get both of them. You'll only get the one you've eaten. How many do you want? 1 or 2?
1.
You want 1?
Yeah.
You don't want 2?
I want 2.
You want 2? Okay. So you want both of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So don't touch this one. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I come back after 5 minutes and you've not touched it, I'll give you an extra one.
Yeah.
But if you eat this one, you will not get 2. But you want 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay? So don't touch it. Don't get out of your seat. Don't distract yourself with anything else. Don't watch TV. Don't play with toys.
Yeah.
Just sit and wait. For how many minutes?
5.
For 5 minutes. Okay? And my timer is starting now. So I'll come back after 5 minutes. Okay? Alright. Baby Mora, let's go.
Hey guys,
So guys,
we are back.
I'm very excited about this topic because
This is a favorite topic. Let me bring the book closer.
it has been it's been a very interesting topic. Again, it's going to be a trigger warning video. It's going to be a topic that
Also give the disclaimer.
yes, disclaimer, it's going to be a topic that has a lot of debates, you know. And so this topic, as you've seen, to swagger or not to swagger your child.
I got a verse actually.
All right,
guys.
to
I'm
beat or not to beat.
Can I read the verse?
Read the verse.
So that, guys, our standard is the
Wait,
Bible.
Yes, wait, before you read the verse, I want to give a disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Whatever we say here,
Yes, by the way.
this is not expert advice.
No.
We are not child psychologists.
No.
We are not counselors. We are not therapists. We are just parents who are figuring this thing out on the job. We are learning on the job and we're inviting you for the journey.
Yes.
So whatever we tell you here that we have done as parents, please don't go and say, Soila said, let us go and also do. Figure out what works for your children
Yes.
and be your own responsible
Whatever works for
parent
Remani and Imora might not work
for you.
but for sure we have known. We hatujafika hapo na Imora, but we know our Remani. And this is our experience with our Remani.
Yeah.
Let me read this verse before Curtis takes us off.
Let me just get this phone ahead.
Proverbs 13:24. I'm reading NKJV. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. Another version says there are different versions, but yeah, continue, Jimmy.
Now, this is what I'll say. And this might shock you. This might also shock Soila because we've not discussed this part.
Don't shock me, please.
The Bible does not tell you to beat your kids.
Yeah. It tells you to show them the road.
The Bible does also not tell you not to beat your kids. The Bible doesn't tell you to beat or not to beat. What the Bible says is that make use of the rod. Do not spare the rod. If you spare the rod, you hate your child. Now the rod, you have to understand who wrote that scripture. The scripture was written by Solomon. Solomon was the son of David, who was a shepherd. So contextually speaking, Solomon is speaking from the place where the rod that he's talking about in context is the shepherd's rod.
Yes.
Now, my wife here happens to be a Maasai. She's a female moral. So what they used to do when they were young, taking care of sheep, is that they would have this rod such that when the sheep is going the wrong direction, they use the rod to bring the sheep back. And you've seen how the rod in ancient Jewish culture, the rod had a curve, all right? So part of that curve is that when the sheep is going the wrong direction, the shepherd can easily hook the sheep and bring it back. The rod, yes, was used to beat wolves and snakes and other predators that are coming to attack the sheep, all right?
Yes.
The rod is also used to tap the sheep. You know, if the sheep is in the wrong place and you're calling it, you tap it a little bit, all right? Now, the Bible doesn't tell you to beat or not to beat your kids. What the Bible tells you is to discipline your kids. So how you choose to discipline them, that is between you and God. You have to figure out, did God give you a kid that is for beating? Because I can tell you, there are kids who, if you raise a stick to that child and you dare to, you are going to create lifelong traumas for that child. But there are children, my friend, if you do not spank that child. There are children whom, if you do not beat, you are raising a monster and you have no idea.
Usimunyime mtoto fimbo. Swaga yeye atoke kwa zimo.
I know right now some of you are going to bring me those studies that have been done. Oh, there's this study that has shown that when you beat children, they become aggressive, you interfere with their confidence, they become anxious, they start having fear and all that. Now, I've seen all those studies, so please don't send me those links. As you know, in this channel, we don't just talk about things, we do our homework.
Yeah.
So I've seen all those studies, and this is what I've seen. This is what I've been able to see. There are two camps here. This is the group of kids who are beaten growing up. This is the group of kids who are not beaten growing up. Now, in this camp, you will find kids who have grown up to be very responsible, mature, law-abiding citizens and members of society. And in the same pile, there are kids who've grown up to be a menace, a problem, and a pain in people's necks.
Yes.
In this group, there are people who've grown up to be very responsible, law-abiding members of society. In the same pile, there are people who've grown up to be menaces and a problem to society. So in both groups of those who are beaten and those who are not beaten, there are those who grew up well, they became proper members of society, and there are those who still became problematic. So that tells you that it is not just about the beating. There is something else that we are looking at. Because if it was purely about beating, then all kids who are beaten should have turned out okay. But we know that's not true.
Yeah.
If beating was bad, then all kids who are not beaten would have turned out okay.
Yes.
But we know there are those who have turned out to be a problem.
Yes.
So it is not just about beating. So for me, my issue with some of these studies is that the studies, they do not tell you the specific contexts that surrounded those studies. For example, were the parents present? All right? Because it's one thing to beat your kid, but were the parents present? Did the parents have a healthy relationship with the child? All right? And what exactly were they calling beating? Because there is a beating that is not beating. There is a beating that is actually abuse.
Abuse, yes.
All right? I know of people who, their parents used to box them. Like they would be, have you ever seen a thief being beaten during mob justice? There are parents who used to do that to their kids. Proper punches and kicks. That is not spanking. That is not disciplining a child. That is abusing a child. All right? For me, beating a child is, lie down, take a very nice rod, 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the intensity of the mistake. I don't believe in slapping kids across the face.
No.
I don't believe in, just beat the buttock. It has extra padding for a reason.
Yeah, actually somebody said that.
Disciplining, especially when you are using a cane, it is reserved for the butt. The butt and the butt alone.
Yeah, the pull again who chapa street anywhere. What is that? That's not discipline.
Yeah.
You're just, and then again, when it comes to discipline, you don't do it out of, particularly where beating is concerned, don't do it out of anger. First of all, there's order to it. Because when somebody does it out of anger, that's why you see somebody hitting the head, hitting the legs,
Yeah.
hitting any other part. And now that one traumatizes the child.
Yeah.
Our parents told us, you know what you've done? Go get the cane. You just go find your nice cane, bring it. If you bring a small one, my mother used to tell us, I'll chop you with this, I'll beat you with this one, and then I'll go find now the proper one by myself. So if you're being sent to go get a cane to discipline you, you just go get a proper cane. You don't go bring a big one, because she's like, this is what you want me to beat you with, you know? So
you are lost.
You are lost, you know.
If you bring a small one, you are lost also, because you try to be smart.
Yeah, so she'll be like, I'll beat you with this small one. When once it breaks, I'll go find another one and beat you. So we were part of the discipline process.
Yes.
And she expects
you are involved.
We
you
were
are engaged.
You are engaged. So you bring something that you know for sure next time you will not be sent to go bring a stick.
Yeah.
No, because they're like, I'm not repeating that mistake again.
Yeah.
We laughed about it. And it shaped us, because we can be very malicious and very cheeky as children. Yeah. So for me, I think I was ripe for beating. Yeah. For sure. For me, I needed to be beaten because I know myself.
Yeah. And I also, at the end of the day, I think I usually say the best study you can do is on the ground.
Your child.
Yeah. And also just talking to people and hear their first-hand meaning. Because you'll go online, you'll find all sorts of studies. But if I come to you and you tell me your own, because we are friends who have told us, I deserved those beatings because the things I was doing.
Yeah.
If I was to continue with that mentality now, I would be a very different person.
No, it's true.
So people know, there are people who can say, even me personally, all right, there are things I was doing and I'm like, I'm glad my mom took action because I was forming up. And you see, that's the thing about discipline. You are dealing with the mindset that is making that child do that thing.
Yes.
It is not the thing.
Guess
all right?
What? Yes.
You tell them don't do it, and then they look at you and then they do it. Don't touch that thing. They go to that thing and then they look at you and then they touch it. That is a mindset that they are forming. If they do that 4 or 5 times,
you are losing it, you guys.
And for kids, they form attitudes and patterns very quick. Their neural pathways are very alert. So if you don't sort that thing out very quickly, you're creating a monster. Okay, my structure of beating is let every
discipline or beating.
Let every offense has its level of discipline.
Yeah.
There are kids, by the way, who all you need to do is talk to them and they'll stop what they're doing.
Yes.
There are kids, all you need to do is take away certain privileges. And they line up. There are children who all you have to do is pray. And whatever that thing it is they are doing will stop.
Yeah.
And there are children who all you need to do is be patient.
Yes.
I don't believe in timeout. I'll tell you why. There are children who all you have to do is be patient, and whatever nonsense it is they are doing, after some time it will just fade off for itself. And there are children who you have to use the cane. And then there are children who you have to apply all those. You have to apply all those. However, I say when it comes to beating, let beating not be your first response. One thing I've noticed about me, when I started learning about attachment and growing closer and all that, I realized the more relationship I have with my child, the more time I spend with Remani, the lesser I was spanking him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the best example of discipline is discipleship. Actually, discipline and discipleship, you get them from the same root word. So the best way you can disciple your child is discipleship.
Yes.
And if you've watched the previous videos, what have you said discipleship is? Discipleship is relationship. If you have no relationship with your child, you have no business disciplining that child.
Oh, yes. That's why for us, we don't allow. Yes.
If you have no relationship, you are busy at work, you come home in the evening, you find them asleep, you leave for work in the morning, they're asleep. The only time you get to see them is in the weekend, and then you want to beat them for something they've done. You have no business. The best discipline comes out of discipleship, out of relationship. And you will discover that the closer the relationship you have with your child, the less and less you will have to spank them.
Yeah.
And don't beat your kids according to the number of words you're speaking. Lala vizuri, sit properly, sit properly. Who told you to go to that house? How many times?
Hi.
Honestly.
Hey,
Honestly.
you're extra.
Honestly. Just have specific strokes for specific offenses. Disobedience and defiance. 3 hot ones. Right? Delay when you're being called.
1 hot one.
2.
1. Yeah.
Eating at the neighbor's house and then you come and refuse to eat in your mother's house. 2 hot ones. You don't beat mbona hukuli hapa umeenda ukashiba kwa kina mama koi.
Your battery's out. Battery's cutting. It's blinking. But whoa, yo.
Alright?
That was the best.
So be kind in your discipline also. So
there's order to that discipline. It's not just so that when the kid does anything like in the chapwa, this one I'm going to be beaten. It's not. I like what you said that there are things, there are level of discipline. Those ones you talk it out. Those ones you. Why don't you like time out?
I don't like time out because
is taking away a privilege of being with part of this, being here right now.
Good.
You go to your room,
Good.
sort it out. That's for me time out.
Good. Now I like that you said that. There are 2 types of times out. There are 2 types of time out. So the first one is whereby the child is just being uncooperative. He doesn't want to behave in front of other people. So, and he's crying and throwing a tantrum. So that one, you put him aside because you want him to calm down.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
You put him aside to contain himself and then he can come back.
Yeah.
If that one is what you're saying, then I agree.
Yes.
But that one whereby the child has done a mistake, you've called them out on it, they're already remorseful, and then you give them a timeout.
Oh.
I don't believe in that because the whole point of discipline is relationship.
Yes.
You're disciplining them towards relationship.
Yes. It's not punishment.
Yes. Whatever discipline you are using, it's towards relationship because it is lack of relationship that makes a lot of children become indisciplined. So you are bringing them back to yourself. Because essentially the way attachment works, a child behaves according to what they see you. All right, in the words of Christ, I do what I see my father doing.
Yes.
Why was he copying his father? Because of the relationship. So a child who has attached well with the parent tends to do what they see the parent doing.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So anytime there's an issue of lack of discipline and they're just behaving badly, it means there's something, not always, but sometimes it means there's something wrong with the relationship. So they are getting their cues from other places or other people rather than you.
Yes.
So you are disciplining them back to relationship with you. So time out is whereby you are telling the child, I don't like you right now. The time at which I'm saying I don't advocate for.
Yes.
You're telling the child, I don't like you right now because
Go.
you are misbehaving. So go. So you are using
Separation.
You are using separation from relationship as a point of discipline.
That's not.
Which I don't think should
mostly punishment.
yes, which I don't think should be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. If you don't take anything else on this video, that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to beat or not to beat, you choose.
Yeah.
You decide based on your child. So it's not a blanket answer. And your explanation of this verse, it's very wise because it takes out the guesswork of the verse really means. You know, constantly beating it actually just means discipling and directing the way a child should go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So a few non-negotiables of discipline. We've already mentioned a few. Number 1, avoid beating the child across the face. Avoid beating the child all over the body. Pick a spot. The bat is usually the favorite.
it's
Right?
it's better because it's padded.
Yes. Number 2, I like this video because it connects with so many other things we've said in other videos.
Yeah.
If you are going to be quick to discipline your child by spanking, be very quick to reward them also when they do something.
Yeah.
All right? Be very quick to reward them when you made a promise. All right?
Meet your promise.
When you made a promise, be very quick to meet that promise. Do not extend discipline to the point whereby you are being too patient. You know, they do that the first time, warning. Second time, warning. 20th time, you are still giving a warning. No. You see what's going to happen? By the time you are warning them the 20th time, you are now frustrated, you're angry, you're pissed. So by that time, if you choose to discipline them, you are no longer disciplining them in love. You're disciplining them in anger and frustration. And children can always tell whether this is love or this is anger. So the reason they advocate for you to be quick about it is because if you warn them the first time, the second time you give them a warning.
Third time it's
the third time
action.
You take action.
Yes, take action.
By the time you are doing it the third time, you are not angry.
Yes.
All right? You are not angry. Plus, you are also helping them to be quick.
To
Secondly,
respond.
don't discipline a child because of things that are
okay for kids to messy.
Like if a toddler spills something, you can't beat them for that. If a toddler breaks a glass, you can't beat them for that. If a toddler comes and tells you,
that is something.
And yet you are the one who tells them you. They are just echoing what you do. You can't beat them for that. So you discipline a child for specific things, mostly defiance. You gave them a warning, you called them, and they are still defying you. That one you take action. Yeah. But all these mistakes, these are things that toddlers do.
Yeah.
There's something, also, it was also tantrum. I know we like beating kids because of throwing a tantrum. Yeah. Be very keen to analyze what exactly is this tantrum about. Because not all tantrums are bad. Sometimes a child is just frustrated and they don't know how to express it.
Sometimes they're very tired.
Yes. Yeah, like I know Remani sometimes used to throw tantrums when he's extremely sleepy or hungry. Yes. So if you beat a kid for that, honestly, you are not really helping them, all right? So you need to know what kind of tantrum is this. Is this a defiance, disobedient tantrum where they are just trying to be difficult? Or there's something bugging them genuinely, and they don't know how to express themselves? So don't be so quick with a stick, but when you've decided you are doing it, the other thing is if you've made up your mind you are going to beat this child, and you've told them I'm going to beat you, do it. If you are not sure you are going to do it, do not make that threat. Because that is when kids start taking you for granted. They start lacking respect for you because you are a barking dog that never bites. But for me, the greatest thing is that relationship thing. It was very significant. Yeah. The more time I spent with my son, the more behaved he became. And he wasn't behaving well because I was threatening him. No. Just him being with me, you know. And this is what they've discovered about fathers. Fathers, it's very important for you to be in your children's lives, especially sons. There's something Remani used to do. So the mother is there feeding Remani with a spoon. So Remani, open your mouth. Remani is busy gallivanting around the sitting room. Remani, come open your mouth. Remani is just busy. You know, Remani has something we call the spirit of tourism. So he likes to really tour. Every environment he goes to, he wants to tour. So Remani, come. It's just, so the mother is there. 10 minutes just holding the spoon. And then I'll come from the bedroom and say, Remani, can you go and eat? The guy will dash like lightning to that plate and come and do to the mom, huh? And it used to annoy me because I was like, why is it that he respects me so much? But the mother gives the mother a hard time. It used to annoy me until I discovered, apparently it's a thing. I had so many people around us who have kids talking about it. It's a thing with boys. They just have this thing where they respect their fathers faster than they respect their mother. I don't know whether it's nature. I don't know. It's just a thing. So the thing about that is mothers will have to spend twice or thrice the energy to get the response that a father will get at one try. So what you need to do is that we need to work as a team. I don't create a culture whereby Remani is only obedient when I'm around. When I'm not, he's giving everybody hell. So there's a way you need to empower the other partner. You need to empower the mother such that even as you're disciplining them, they need to know why. They need to know that mom is just as important as dad, so that they don't grow up with the understanding that with mom, I can get away with a lot of nonsense because she's weak. But with dad, because the other thing that tends to happen is that mothers now overcompensate. Because they want to be as hard as dad, they end up going overboard and denying the child the softness and the
Yeah.
nurturing and the warmth that the mother is supposed to provide.
give, yes.
So it's really a dicey balance that you're supposed to factor in, and always remember that you're working as a team.
And one thing that I've seen a lot, not really a lot, but there's one story that I had, I don't know if I read it or I came across it somewhere, that indisciplined kids tend to regret it in the future and blame their parents for not disciplining.
Yes, I've heard those.
Yes.
I've actually had people saying,
It's true.
there's a person who was...
Why didn't you direct me in
Yes.
the right path?
There's a person who was saying their brothers. So one of them was saying, I wish my dad beat me as much as he beat so-and-so.
Yes.
Because so-and-so became so successful in life because of discipline and having a focus and everything. The other one wasn't as much.
Yes.
And he was saying, after analyzing, he realized it's because he didn't see the same kind of discipline on him. The father was softer on him
Yes.
than his sibling. And he was
Yeah.
like, I wish dad beat me as hard as he beat you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, this may not apply to everybody. There are people who've done perfectly well in life
With no beating.
with no beating.
Thank
So
you.
we are not saying it
Fantastic.
is for everybody.
Yes.
And there are people who've done perfectly well because they were beaten. So once again, it's really just understanding the kind of kid God has given you, having a relationship with them, knowing what works for them and what doesn't work for them. There are kids you can beat them as much as you want. They will not change. They will still do the nonsense
Yes.
you are beating them for.
It's
So
true.
that should be loud enough for you
Yeah.
that probably you are applying the wrong
Discipline
the
measure.
wrong discipline measure. Let us know in the comments, what was your experience growing up? Were you caned? Were you not caned? What do you think about caning? Will you cane your kids? And what kind of caning are you doing? Are you using a slippers? Are you using a mwiko? How many strokes do you give? Do you cane as you talk? I'm sad for those kids whose mothers talk 10,000 words a day.
And guys,
yeah. Other than that, like, comment, share, subscribe,
and see you next time.
cheers.
It's so funny to do that. Dada, are you there? Relax. Relax, Daddy. Up. Dada, Daddy.
Wait.
When you walk in the rooms, behind the scenes, when you walk in the rooms, things and booms, things and rings, when you walk in the rooms, yeah? What do you do? What do you do? When you walk in the rooms, then kinds of things.
Hey, Champers! Champers, you've not touched? Have you touched? No, you've touched.
Yeah?
You've not touched? Did you touch?
No.
Not even a little?
Yeah.
Did you smell?
Yeah. No.
You didn't smell? You didn't even do this? Hey, Buddha! Why? Patience pays. Now you get 2. Okay? Well done. Now you have 2. Do they smell nice? Okay. They are all yours. You can have it. You've passed the test. Ebu bite. Bite one. Because you know it's chocolate, it's going to melt, so you have to eat it quickly. Okay? Or you don't want to bring them, you don't want.
I want to.
But you're not eating them. Put them here, and then you share with your sister, right?
I want to do this one.
Yeah, put here so that it doesn't melt in your hand.
But I want to eat it quickly.
Okay, eat quickly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, so that is what we call, what are you doing? Okay, you want to be seen? There you are. That is what we call the marshmallow test. It's just that we are not using marshmallows but chocolate. It's a really good test that you should do for your kids and do it regularly. Like after every milestone, every developmental stage, just do it because it is meant to test and develop certain things in their character and their personalities. So I don't want to give you more information than that. Go do your own research. They've done this research over decades. And they're able to predict how children are going to be in their adult life. They can be able to predict how children are going to be in their adult life. Remani, move. They can be able to predict how children are going to be in their adult life based on how they perform in the marshmallow test. It's called a marshmallow test, but you can use anything because it's really just a patience test. And yeah, I would like to know what you guys have you've discovered with your kids with this kind of thing. Cheers. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Do you want to share with them? Yeah? I'll eat for them. I'll eat for them if you give me. You don't want to share?
I want to see.
You want to share? Yeah, give me, I'll eat for them. Give me, I'll eat for them.
No.
You don't want to give me? But I'm the one who gave you in the first place.
But don't eat for all the children to eat.
You don't. It's not for all the children's. Okay, give your sister. Me, I don't want to give your sister.
No.
Give your sister.
They're for these ones.
No, those ones have their own. Your sister is right here. Those ones are far away. You don't want to share with your sister?
Yeah.
Okay, Mora. Remani. Remani, you don't want to share with your sister?
No.
If it was her who had it, would you want her to give you?
See? You want a small one.
But you've given her such a small one. Yeah. Your time will come. She's the one who will have the cool stuff. And will be there asking for them. Let's see how that will go. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.